With discussions about offsetting the climate crisis reaching fever pitch ahead of COP26, much focus has been on the destruction across the vast Amazon. After all, these pristine rainforests are the irreplaceable lungs that suck up global carbon emissions, so preserving them is paramount. More than 10% of the Amazon rainforest is in Colombia, and here too, like Brazil, it's being destroyed at an alarming rate. UK and other countries have poured hundreds of millions into Colombia to try to halt the deforestation. I've come to find out if it's working. I'm traveling through the sparsely populated Guaviare state, an area scarred by Colombia's brutal civil war, where armed dissidents still hold sway in parts of its rainforests. In recent years, thousands of acres of forest have been chopped down to make way for cattle ranches and the insatiable demand for beef. My guide is Juan Carlos Caballero, a farmer and local politician against deforestation.
Estas áreas que vemos aquí en algún momento eran bosques, ¿sí? Recuerdo hace 15 años, yo hace 15 años por aquí andaba y esto era solo selva.
Hola. Bienvenido. Hola, gracias.
We're headed for Chiribiquete, the largest tropical forest national park on Earth. This river marks the edge of the Chiribiquete Park, and what's happening inside the borders of this vast protected reserve goes to the very heart of the challenges over how to save Colombia's Amazon. Vast swathes of pristine rainforest are being hacked and burned to make way for cattle. The question for the Colombian government and its international backers: who's really behind all this, and why is no one stopping it? On the park's border live the indigenous Tucano people, guardians of the forest, who welcome me with an ancient traditional dance. But the Tucanos say deforestation is now happening unchecked, and they fear big ranchers may soon encroach on their own precious rainforests.
Antes nosotros queremos sembrar más el bosque. Nosotros queremos tener nuestro bosque virgen. No queremos perder.
The tech-savvy Tucano direct our drone to capture the destruction.
Enseguida ya está esto ya despejarnos, todo ya en pleno de la carretera.
Across Colombia's Amazon region, an estimated 2.8 million hectares of forest, an area larger than Wales, has been lost over the past 2 decades, most in recent years.
Más arriba ya está tumbado. Esto todo ya está tumbado.
Acá, todo.
Acá,
todo destruido.
Todo destruido.
If the cavalry is coming, this is what it looks like. An SUV convoy carrying the Minister of Environment and foreign donors. They're opening this rubber factory built by a government program called Vision Amazonia. It's funded by the UK, Germany and Norway, and primarily aims to provide an income for local people while preserving the source of that income: pristine rainforest. It's one of multiple sustainable growth projects aimed at stopping deforestation and tackling climate change in Colombia, paid for by British taxpayers, now worth nearly £250 million, a huge amount at a time of ongoing aid cuts. The British ambassador is here.
Es un placer para mí acompañarlos en la inauguración de esta planta.
Just days after the Amazon trip, the Environment Minister, Lord Goldsmith, jetted into Bogota to schmooze the Colombians ahead of the COP26 summit and partake of their bounteous offerings.
Let's talk.
The whirlwind trip was soon to bear riper fruit, a pit stop at the Amazon, a photo op that selected indigenous locals, and meetings with Colombia's beaming president, Iván Duque, a key ally in Britain's efforts to secure a deal at the Glasgow summit. But are these efforts really working?
Este es un guarumo.
Away from the PR push, other farmers tell a different story about the impact of the donor-backed projects. Juan Carlos takes me to meet Fernando, who has pristine rainforest on his small amount of land, but he's only saving part of it.
Si se pudiera cortar, pero yo no pienso cortar.
But without support, preserving the rainforest is a luxury Fernando can't afford. He's cleared some of his land for cattle.
La gente tumba, ¿por qué?
En esta tierra no hay ayudas, por lo menos para el campesino, para uno agricultar, para uno cultivar. No hay. Entonces, en este momento, la ayuda a uno prácticamente es el ganado. Porque está la leche, está el ganado para uno venderlo, entonces uno se sostiene con el ganado.
Some government programs pay farmers to stop them cutting down trees. But there aren't enough of these schemes, and Fernando says they pay too little anyway. Even some donor backers told me privately such payment schemes were not sustainable long term.
¿Sí? Prometen mucho y no cumplen nada.
¿Qué nos está llegando a nosotros de los programas ambientales para detener la forestación?
Nada, prácticamente como que 300,000 por hectárea que llega.
That's just £60 a month. But these small plots of land are not the main problem. These pictures allegedly show huge cattle ranches gouged out of the rainforest in and around Chiribiquete Park. The images are part of a major report by the Environmental Investigation Agency, which says the cattle population in this protected area has increased threefold since 2016. On the ground, the ravaged landscape, scarred by the burnt trunks of trees, mark where rainforest has been wiped off the map. The report claims that beef from these illegal ranches is often bought by Colombia's biggest supermarket chains, including Grupo Éxito, owned by the French firm Casino Group. The company says it is not aware of any links between its meat suppliers and deforestation, but that it will investigate. I met a farmer with first-hand knowledge of these secretive supply chains. He wanted to remain anonymous, as he told me the big ranches are protected by the authorities, who turned a blind eye to illegal forest clearance.
Los grandes ganaderos hacen las grandes deforestaciones y van con las entidades del Estado y les pagan su dinero y siguen trabajando sin ningún problema. Es porque hay dinero por medio.
Back at the Vision Amazonia event, I managed to speak to Colombia's environment minister.
Minister, in Chiribiquete Park, just 50 kilometers from here, there's been ongoing deforestation linked to cattle ranching, right? And the government hasn't been tackling that problem.
Hay zonas que precisamente tenemos que hacer mayores esfuerzos, los estamos haciendo y es por eso que nuestra meta es de un 30% de reducción para llegar a cero deforestación al año 2030.
Because critics of the government policy are saying you're happy to take the money from the British and Germans and Norwegians for these projects, but you're not keeping your side of the bargaining to protect the bigger destruction that's happening just a few miles away from where we are.
No, estamos haciendo unos esfuerzos muy importantes con nuestros recursos.
But do you accept that at the moment, and for some time now, there has been this ongoing destruction and deforestation fueled by big business, including Western-owned companies in Colombia, and nothing much has been done to stop that? Why?
No tengo conocimiento del tipo de empresas que se refiere. Si lo están haciendo, pues no deberían y pues lo investigaremos, pero en este momento no tenemos una denuncia formal de ninguna empresa formal, bien sea nacional o multinacional, que esté haciendo este tipo de actividades.
But do you accept? Okay, thank you.
Suddenly my interview was over and the minister was off. I wanted to talk to the UK ambassador about whether Britain's aid money is being well spent if the Colombian government is unable or unwilling to halt some of the largest scale deforestation.
And being here and
yes, I can't give you anything official because it's not all been set up through the office, but I can talk to you off the record if there's anything that would be happening. So you shouldn't be recording it either.
Later attempts to interview the ambassador were rejected by the Foreign Office. But in a statement, the government said it was committed to tackling deforestation and maintaining a dialogue with the Colombian government over the issue. I had better luck with the Norwegian embassy's representative, a climate specialist.
last year there was a rise in deforestation, and you're rolling out more and more projects with the government, aren't you?
Yeah, but it takes time for things to happen. But the funding streams depend on the results.
And do you trust the Colombian government are going to deliver on their side?
We have a partnership. And as in a marriage, you have to trust your partner. If not, you get a divorce, right? That's what it's all about.
But this is being fueled by big business, isn't it? Including Western-owned companies.
I think it's outrageous that international companies, it's outrageous national companies do it, but also outrageous that international companies in one way or another are involved in the destruction of these areas.
As COP26 looms into view, the Colombian government and its international backers, the UK included, plead that more time is needed for their multi-million-pound projects to really impact on halting rainforest destruction. But time is not a commodity in this climate crisis, when saving the Amazon has never been more critical.